Hi, good morning everyone. Welcome to ixamBee. Today we are going to discuss the strategy for preparation of phase 2. So all of you have given phase 1 yesterday and we all know the paper, how it was, the pattern, how GA questions were easy and direct. So now let's not waste even a second. Let's not waste any time at all and start preparing for phase 2. So my first foremost suggestion to everybody is that please don't wait for the result. Okay, you will waste your important time. We only have 20 days, and if you wait for the result, you will waste those 6-7 days, whatever it will take for the result to be out, in first seeing whether you are through phase 1 or not. Irrespective of what the result will be, there is no harm, there is no downside in starting the preparation today. So that is the first strategy that you have to follow. Start today, start right now. Don't wait for the result. Don't wait in analyzing your paper, phase 1 paper, and guesstimating whether you will pass or not, whether you will clear the cutoff or not. Right? Don't waste that time, please. Right? So moving on to what exactly you should do in these 20 days, you have to judiciously use your time so that you get the best out of it for your phase 2. You have to clear it this year. Right? So we all know there are 3 papers. Okay, there is ESI, there is finance, FM, finance and management, and then there is descriptive English. All 3 papers have equal weightage, so don't neglect any aspect. Okay, so I know most of you, majority of you have already been preparing, reading newspapers, studying material and preparing for it. So in this time, this is about focusing on what can be the most important aspects that you should focus on. So this is what I'm going to discuss, right? What you should focus on, what you should revise more, what you should practice more. Okay, so first let's get some facts clear, that what all we should expect in the paper. Majority of the time I hear this, people are preparing for their finance part for the FM paper. The past trend, if you will notice, finance and management, okay, they have had an equal weightage, 48%, 49%, 50%, 51%. So it's almost equal weightage that finance and management questions are there. So you cannot just prepare for the finance part and neglect the management part. That is not possible, right? That is one fact. So you have to make your strategy work accordingly. Second, numericals has no clear weightage in the past years. In 2017, numerical had the highest weightage. Around 20% of your paper was based on numericals. However, in 2018, everybody had prepared for numericals. There was only one numerical, and that was actually, I will also not qualify that as a numerical. It was more of a concept check through a numerical, few numbers they had put in, and therefore you may call it a numerical. So there is no clear weightage. Okay, so like any other topic that you study in finance, numericals has to be studied like any other topic. You cannot give it very high weightage, you cannot give it very low weightage. Right. Third fact is finance part, the FM paper, the finance questions that come there are more concept based. What I mean here is, say for example, they may ask you something like monetary policy, what is the repo rate? Okay, so the current repo rate you may know. Okay, so that becomes a news related kind of a question. But understanding what is the meaning of repo, or maybe what is the meaning of reverse repo, okay, that becomes a concept related question. So yes, finance part will be motivated, will be centered around a lot of it will be centered around a lot of your questions which are in the news, the topics which are in news, but it will be more conceptual in nature, right? So that is what gives you clues which concept or which RBI circulars or which RBI notifications you should focus on more. right? But ultimately it will be the concept maybe, and not higher percentage of the current affairs type of questions, right? In ESI, government schemes over the years have had a lot of importance. So yes, that is a very very important aspect, both current and past. And I think majority of you already know that, you have been focusing on that. So yes, that will carry a lot of weightage. uh, Phase one, if we are trying to take some clues from how the phase one paper went, the GA part in that was more focused on the latest last 3 months. So basically September, October, November. Yes, August also. November was only one question there. So yes. So if I'm saying November was the exam, so last 3 months, August, September, October had the majority of the weightage in the questions. So that's a likely trend. We all suggest going back to 6 months. That's a safer bet. But yes, the latest becomes much more important, and similar kind of trend we can expect for phase two also, right? In phase one, in the GA part, we have not had any questions from budget or economic survey. That does not mean that it will not be important for phase two. You can expect a good number of questions, maybe with the form of government schemes and budget mixed up in terms of what allocations budgets has made to various schemes, or what was the performance of certain schemes as illustrated in the economic survey. So all that will become important for phase two. Now you should focus even more, because they've asked nothing in phase one in the GA part from budget or economic survey, right? So these were the facts related to the exam. Now let me also tell you few facts which are related to ixamBee. So the GA questions, 90% of the questions were covered by the ixamBee MTs. I'm sure you already know all the MTs, mock tests provided by ixamBee are free. They are available. You can attempt them by asking for an ixamBee key. So you need an iexam key to get access to all the free mock tests on ixamBee website, right? So you can attempt those. If you want to cross check, you can very well go ahead and cross check also the mock tests of phase one. They covered 90% of the questions directly. Okay, the October GA capsule that we provided, it was a little different from what strategy we follow of providing crisp content, because of the importance we understood that October month had for the exam, right? And 98% of the questions for the month of October that came, they were covered in our GA capsule in detail. Okay, so the strategy I'm going to go discuss going ahead now, we have formed that based on analysis done by our expert faculty for each subject. So we have a different faculty for English, for finance, for management, for economics, for social issues, who have carefully analyzed past trends, the current news, and then prepared this strategy for you, which I will discuss. Second, the online exam, the online course which we are offering will provide you 35 MTs, 15 MTs for finance, 50, finance and management, 15 for ESI, and 5 for descriptive English. Right. So I'll come back to this again, details about what the course will be and how we are conducting even live class based on this 20-day strategy. Right. So this is a list of the live classes that we are taking based on the strategy that we have formed for the preparation. Okay, and as I told you, our course will consist of 30 live class and 35 mock tests for these 20 days only. Okay, so it's not like a 1 year preparation. For these 20 days is what this is. Okay, given by our expert faculty, right? Yes. So coming to the main part, which is what is of more interest, and we have been conducting this webinar for. First topic, finance. So if we see the past or trend of last 2 years, okay. So as I was already telling you, there is no clear if I have to give you a clear picture as to numericals, see here numericals had very low weightage, here numericals had a very high weightage. So please give importance, to numericals as it is for any other topic that you will give. What is most important and more consistent is this part. Updates on banking sector. Basically, it's the same thing as, current affairs. What is going on in what is more important for RBI, for the economy, for the banking sector, for the financial sector. That is very, very, very important. So most topics are picked up from here. Okay, then in that similar, if I have to see the consistency form, another important topic is RBI and monetary policy. And how monetary policy over the last year, if you will also agree with me, how the RBI has been reducing the repo rate, and how they have even brought in a new liquidity tool. You all would remember about the USD INR swap that RBI used this year. So there are many new things that have happened from the monetary policy point of view also. So I feel this is an important topic even in this year, and it is likely to have a decent amount of weightage this year also. Okay, so based on these past trends, here are the few topics that I think that you should concentrate on more. Okay, given the current situation, the RBI and the financial system situation. First and foremost is the risk management in banks. Right. We all know, it's not just this year. From the past 2-3 years, risk management (NPA) has been a biggest problem, and trying to get the risk control in the system has been the priority not only of RBI but also of the government. Right. So risk management from two aspects. Remember, there are two aspects. Of course, there's a lot of things involved in risk management. What all becomes important for you is not just this. You have to concentrate on two kinds of very important risk: liquidity risk and credit risk. Right. So for liquidity risk, what all has been done, what all RBI is doing, they try to inject a lot of liquidity. So of course, apart from OMO and LAF, they this year also brought in USD INR swap. Okay, then how they have now brought in liquidity management, risk management framework for NBFCs. Okay, so all these regulations which have recently come out, there was something like to improve liquidity, FALLCR. We have detailed, videos on these also, discussing all these aspects. We have a video related to, per subject wise also available on our YouTube. So you can go into that detail also, what all is important. So these all regulations have come this year. RBI has been taking a lot of steps, so that is a very important aspect. For credit risk, if you will remember, there was large exposure framework that RBI has come out with this year. So that becomes a very, very, very important concept, regulation that you should know about. So these are the 7 areas which can help you revise and get a better standing in your finance preparation. So regulations related to NBFCs, because we all know last 1 year has been a chaotic year for NBFCs. So many, starting with ILNFS and then DHFL. Right, so there was so much news NBFCs have been, and RBI has come out, and even our government has taken a lot of steps to improve liquidity and situation for NBFC. So remember that partial guarantee, we have a separate video for that also, partial guarantee scheme that government came out with for the NBFC. So various steps, not just by RBI but also by the government, that they have taken to improve situation for NBFCs. Cooperative banks I have included separately because of the PMC case that recently happened. So that's a very, very recent. So if we also go by that logic of last from August and September and October having more weightage in the current affairs also, PMC is like just last month. right? So it becomes very important. So not just knowing about PMC, but other cooperative banks, if RBI has taken any action, and the regulations which are there for cooperative banks. And similarly for small finance banks. Why? Because they came out with an on tap licensing. So this has been allowed. So they have been in news. So this is expanding, which payment banks are contracting, right? So you need to know both. So if you know, if you talk about small finance banks, you have to also know about payment banks, because somehow they came together, so they are talked about a little together. So comparison does happen in that, right? NPA management, so this is interlinked. So NPA management, again, there has been guidelines for stressed assets, so which replace the infamous Feb 18 circular, right? So what replaced it? What are the different other ways RBI has come out with? Government has come out. So government came out with a Sashakt plan. Right, so this has become a little old, but because NPA is still a big problem, I think this is still an important topic. IBC is in news. Okay, there have been recent amendments, 2019 amendments that came out in July, August. So they are very much important. So all this is related to NPA management. Financial inclusion is very much important. It is very, very targeted, not just by RBI, by the government. So financial inclusion basically includes your PSL, right? A lot about PSL, Kisan card, MSME sector, what the government has done, agri sector, what the government has done. Okay, banking outlet schemes, banking outlet guidelines that RBI has come out with. So all that is part of your financial inclusion. It is very important. You should focus on that aspect. Monetary policy and liquidity management, as I was already telling you while analyzing finance part, it is very important for you to concentrate on. Another aspect is your bonds market. So the government RBI has also been trying to improve the condition of the bond market, and in lieu of that, RBI and also SEBI, they have come out with various guidelines. So that is again an important aspect that you should focus on. And of course, forex money is very, very important. The government again, FPI flew, after the government announced the budget, taxation, FPI money started flowing out. Then the government has reversed that thing. RBI has come out with new ECB guidelines. There are exceptions given to the end use for NBFC. So all this becomes interrelated. They have been in news and they are very important. So cover that part. Moving on to the next part of the FM paper is the management paper. So if you see in the management paper, the most important, here we see little consistency. The important parts revolve around these two: leadership and motivation. And usually they go together, because ultimately what the leader is trying to do is motivate, right? So they go hand in hand. Okay, so in leadership, various leadership styles is very, 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 very important. You should be able to differentiate. Many a times there's a very thin line, you're not able to understand what is the difference between, say, maybe a democratic and a transformational. Okay, but there are different words we are using. Okay, so how they are different, why there are different names. Motivation, there are so many theories. How is one theory different from the other? Okay, leadership, there are so many theories. How is one different from the other? Because many of these theories are extension of a previous theory. Okay, so what happened? So that becomes important. And another very important aspect is your management basics. So when I'm talking about management basics, it covers everything: the process of management, the organization structure, you know, and then OB, organization behavior. It will cover your principles, right? So it's a it's a vast topic. And so what we've seen, the trend here is that, yes, as I was saying, leadership is most important. Motivation will go hand in hand with that. Management basics will include a lot of varied topics. So last year, the majority of the subtopic that management basics consisted of was the organization structure. So there was a lot about what is a functional organization, what is matrix structure. Okay, so there were questions revolving around that. And before that, they were mostly talking about, meaning of planning, how is mission important, how is vision important, how are they different. So there are varied subtopics in management. What you should try the best way. We don't know what they will pick up this year. Will there be a repeat, will there not be a repeat? The best way to try is to do a lot of questions, is what I will suggest, because there is endless. It's a topic that is endless. You can keep reading, one thing will lead to another, you will think that is also important. So the best way is to do a lot of practice questions. That will help you uh, 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 that will help you to cover management basics in a lot of width, at least, if not depth, because depth is actually not required, but you will cover a wide range of subtopics here. HRD is usually human resource development is usually centered around your performance appraisal. So topics related to performance appraisal, the biases, that is all what you should know, and various job related terms like job analysis. What does it mean? How is it different from, say, a job design? Right. So there are very small words different, but they have a very different meaning. So you should understand all that. Career planning, what is career planning? There are various terms related to career planning, so you should understand all those things. So that is there. Communication and corporate governance are usually easier and direct, so that is how you should prepare them quickly. Okay. So, and yes, there will be some indirect and out of syllabus topics, like last year on inventory management. They asked on economic quantity, right? There was about Kaizen, right? Just in time. So, and before that year also there was some out of syllabus topics, indirect topics. I will not say out of syllabus, because as I said, management is so wide, there's no end to it. Okay. So don't be scared as to how do I cover it. And just because it was there last year, it is not necessary it will be this year. Now you already know those terms because they came last year. So I would not say, I would suggest not to stress about it. There will always be certain questions. And many times you can do a common sense analysis, because management is a lot about common sense. Okay, so you will be able to attempt those, but if not, then move on. It's not like you have to attempt every single question there. So there will be such, be prepared for that and accept it and move on, is what I would suggest for that aspect. Right. So as I said, practice, and the more you read the explanations, the more clarity you will get, because management as such is a low hanging fruit, right? The problem comes when you see very close options. So if you've actually seen last year also and before that year also, RBI released a sample booklet for phase 2, and the questions in that which were given for management part, they had very similar options, and very many different people have told as different answers which should be the correct answer. So it's a lot about common sense. There will be a lot of closeness in the options available, so the practice will give you the most preparation for management, is what I would suggest. Rather than reading a book, it will be good that you practice a lot of mock tests and read explanations and learn from them. Moving to the other aspect, ESI. Okay, again, ESI, the maximum weightage we have seen is in schemes. Okay, last year there were schemes that they were talking about for lot of previous years also. So this is their schemes. Okay, then there is ministries, committees, reports, and this year, so we have seen the revision in of various reports multiple times in a year. So IMF World Outlook has changed 3 times. They came out in April, then they came out in July, and now they have come out again in September, October. Right. So the latest you should know, because it is changing so quickly. Various committees, this can come in finance part also, and ESI part also. Lot of committees have been formed by RBI, by the government, by SEBI. This year they have formed lot of committees for different aspects of financial system. So know about those committees, those recommendations, what they have recommended. If they have been implemented, the recommendations become all the more important. Okay, so know about that. We have a document listing all the important committees for the current year and of the past also, because in the schemes also we saw that. So schemes already, we have documents of past and present, and for committees also we have prepared separately. That will give you a gist of all the committees, what the recommendations were, when was it formed, who was the chairman. So all those details at one place are available to you. Economic survey, as I was talking in earlier also of the webinar, that economic survey and budget has not been covered till now in GA. So expect a good amount in ESI, and not just economic survey and budget, also concentrate on the economic booster, the various other steps that the government has taken and the reforms that the government has announced in recently in September and October, the corporate tax cuts, the various sector specific steps that they have taken. So all that is very, very important. So here your 7 points focus should be on these topics: government schemes in that order, reports, committees, ministries, then budget, ES and SECC. Okay, measure on growth and inflation. These concepts are, have been recurring year after year. So GDP, GNP, inflation, different kinds of inflation, what the government, RBI does, what is flexible inflation targeting, all that. Then forex and fiscal policy and BOP, again, because of the importance the current government is giving to their relationship with the other countries. Okay, because of that, and also because of the global, people moving to trade protectionism, all this happening, forex policy has become an important topic, and I think it can have a better, higher weightage this year, right? Then yes, poverty alleviation and SDG, from social issues point of view. Again, all the more importance of development economics in this paper you can expect, because we have a Nobel Prize winner from our own country. Okay, so I think development economics, especially poverty alleviation, and the government schemes related to upliftment of the poor can be much more important for this year's paper. RCEP, the government has declined to sign it, but what it was, is there any other FTA that the government has signed? What were the points related to RCEP? Why government rejected it? Okay, all that will be important, and because of the FTA point, I think you should, from the static point of view, you should know about WTA, you should know about what FTA means, you should know how WTA became, existence of WTA and all will be important points for this year from our end. So that was mainly from my end. We have had a very good track record in the first year of our launch last year, where we had 12% selections in RBI, 24% selections in SEBI from our crisp content. So that is what ixamBee does. We create very crisp content which is relevant for your exam. So this strategy of preparation is also focused on that we are trying to help you in the last phase of your preparation, to concentrate and have a focused study, so that it increases your chances of clearing. So welcome to ixamBee. We hope to see you in our live sessions. For any more details, you can contact on this number 920-552-4028, and we will be happy to see you in the live sessions. So for any preparation, exam hai to ixamBee hai. Any questions that have not been answered, I'll be taking up now. So AJ Rock, I don't know if you've already been answered about the cutoff. That's the first thing I started with. You can keep speculating about the cutoff. You can find it all over the internet. We can also give you the expected cutoff. However, we are restricting ourselves from giving any numbers because it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant for you to know the cutoff right now. Do you really want to waste your time this 6-7 days when your competition is preparing for phase 2? And then you get to know after 7 days you have cleared phase 1 and you have to sit for phase 2. Then you will be struggling. Is That is what my suggestion is. Please don't stress about the cutoff. You have given your phase 1, you have given your best, you have done your best. Prepare for phase 2. There's no harm in doing that. So I'm just reading the questions. If they've not been answered, I will take up. Any other questions? Otherwise, you can leave in the comments. And so we have posted different videos also for all these 3 papers. For descriptive English, again, practice reading newspaper is the most important. We in our live sessions we will be taking a few classes for descriptive English also. And as I said, our course includes 5 descriptive English mocks also, where your answers will be checked personally and personal feedback will be given by the faculty. Right, so any more questions if you have, leave it in the comments. We'll be happy to reply. Otherwise you can reach out to us on this number also on your screen. Okay, so all the best. My again last suggestion, don't waste time. Please start today itself your preparation. All the best for phase 2, and I would love to see all of you in my live classes. Good day.